Anan Bouapha from Proud to Be Us Laos. He is referred by the Huffington Post as the leader of Lao PDR's nascent LGBTQI movement. In 2012, he founded Proud to Be Us, the nation's first civil society network promoting equal rights for people with sexual and gender diversity communities. As president and founder, he was instrumental in organizing the first Pride event in Laos. Anan was honored with the Asian Pink Awards in Singapore in 2014 and praised for his work in combating HIV and initiated the LGBT rights movement in his country. His organization was ranked in the top 9 World LGBT Change Heroes by The Guardian in 2016, and in 2019 he was selected as one of the Grand Marshals of the Montreal Pride, along with Montreal Pride, along with Steve Cruz of Star Trek and Monica Helms, the creator of the transgender flag. Anan.
Sabadi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. It's a great honor to be one of the panelists here with such inspiring fellow leaders. And thanks to the Canadian Embassy in Manila and Ambassador Kelly and everyone. I'm the founder of Proud to Be Us Laos, known as the first one of the first LGBTI civil society movement in the Lao PDR. So we kind of organized the first unofficial pride in the Lao PDR. We want to educate Lao society and also our government that being LGBTI is not a Western import, but it's human reality. So this is our statement that we want to advocate for acceptance. So I want to give you a brief overview about LGBTI situation in Laos. Fortunately, same-sex activity is legal in Lao PDR. We don't have the law to the colonial law that prohibits same-sex activities. However, it's still a lot to do because if you know about our country, we are one of the remaining conservative countries in terms of political status. That means that the idea of being LGBTI is viewed as a Western influence. So we need to work hard to prove that being LGBT it's a natural thing, it's human reality. So that's our movement started in 2012. And our approach is very in accordance to the local context. We are working with government partner is paramount for us. We think that government partners is a key partners to advocate for positive change and to increase understandings and acceptance. And in 2020, we received the first two recommendations from Iceland and Malta. So this is a great news for the community. Iceland said something like adopt comprehensive anti-discrimination legislation that addresses direct and indirect discrimination and encompasses all the prohibited grounds of discrimination, including sexual orientation and gender identity. And Malta said continue taking steps to improve the rights of LGBTI persons, particularly by identifying their needs, considering involving LGBTI representatives in the decision-making processes. And our government, Lao PDR, responds to the UPR that we are not yet ready to accept recommendation number 46, which is from Iceland. From our views, we think that it makes sense for Lao to say that because there are not much efforts made by the community themselves. In Lao PDR, we only have a few organizations working on LGBT rights advocacy. So there's lack of data, lack of evidences, lack of so many essential fundamental data. So when our government said we are not yet ready, that means that, okay, this time is not yet ready, but maybe in the next cycle, the next 5 years, maybe we don't know, maybe they change their mind. So that means that community here have to work hand in hand with governments and hand in hand with the fellow CSO in the country as well. Of course, with the great lesson learned from ASEAN, and I'm very happy that to learn from you all. So we try to take notes what are the possibilities and the great lesson learned from you all to apply here in Laos. And the successes in Laos is that LGBTI community was involved in the in drafting the national policy on youth development 2019 to 2030 by the with the invitation from Lao Youth Union, which is equivalent to Ministry of Youth Affairs. So LGBTI was invited to have a in the national discussion. So this is a good step for Laos. And IDHOT has been organizing since 2015. And Canada has played an important role in helping us to organize such a wonderful IDHOT since 2018. The charter fair here, even the ambassador, we don't have the ambassador here in Laos, but in Bangkok, Thailand, only the charter fair. And ambassador also flew here to Laos to open the remarks and help us mark a very meaningful IDHOT. And we also conducted the first ever research on being LGBTI at work. This one was supported by the government of Canada through the Canada Fund for Local Initiative. So this research was in partnership with the Faculty of Law and Political Science National University. So this is a very, very meaningful and a step forward to open the door of for LGBTI community, because normally the government partners are quite reluctant to touch base on this topic, and we secure their participation and coordination collaboration from the government partner, which is wonderful. So thank you to Canada for your support. However, having said that, of course, challenges, there are challenges involved. The first one, I think LGBTI is not widely discussed in the official agenda of the government, only the subject of HIV/AIDS prevention. We understand that HIV prevention is important for LGBT's health and lifestyle, but there are more issues surrounding them. So we wish to see more discussions, but there is a good sign already from our government. But in the future, we try to have more discussion with them. And of course, LGBTI is still viewed as a Western influence, especially when there are Western embassies involved. I think that is one of the challenging that community have to defend this idea to our leaders that being LGBTI is a human reality. It's not like Western country asks us to be gay. I think being gay and lesbian, transgender is natural. Nobody asks us to be, or even we watch Lady Gaga on YouTube doesn't make us gay or doesn't make us straight, So this is something we want to work on. And not many NGOs and CSO working on LGBTI issues in the Lao PDR. I can name like 3 nationwide and all in Vientiane capital. And we have 18 provinces, 17 provinces, but only 3 in the capital city. So you can imagine that we need more. We need not just like one person have to vocalize the voices, but many have to join the force. So that's it for my presentation.
All right. Thank you, Anan. There's just one quick question before we move on to the next speaker. There's a quick question there. Is the research published? The research that you mentioned?
Yes, it's published in Lao and English.
Yeah, so maybe we can work together for you to be able to send it to participants who are interested to receive a copy of this research.
Yeah, with
Any
pleasure.
links that you can share.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Anan.
Thank you.
All right.